So I want to thank everybody for coming today. As many of you know, Manchester Transit provides fixed route, step saver, and community shuttles in the greater Manchester urbanized area. We also do intercity commuter bus connecting Manchester with Concord and with Nashua. We transport 450,000 riders every year. We bring employees to jobs, students to schools, seniors to healthcare. We pride ourselves on our safe, friendly, accessible, and affordable transportation. We couldn't do this without the help of our federal partners at the Federal Transit Administration, or FTA. Federal funds cover 50% of our operating expenses, and local revenue, primarily from the City of Manchester, covers the remaining 50%. While MTA has been approved and allocated $2.2 million in FY19 federal funds, and those funds are available and in an account right now, MTA can't access them because the FTA web portal called ECHO is unavailable because of the shutdown. MTA had some emergency funds available almost entirely as a result of our school operations here, which don't receive any federal funding, but we're a small transit system. We have 28 buses and 50 transit-related employees. As of December 31st, MTA is owed $512,000 in FTA funds. By January 31st, that number will climb to $677,000. We just don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars laying around to cover the lapse. I'm committed to guaranteeing that our drivers, mechanics, dispatchers, all of the hardworking men and women of MTA will never miss a paycheck. But payroll is just one of a growing number of concerns. Things like how to buy fuel, how to pay health insurance premiums, even the basics of how to keep the lights on and the heat running. We all hear about the 800,000 federal workers that aren't receiving paychecks, and that is absolutely a major concern. But this crisis is even larger. It affects contractors and direct grant recipients like MTA. But MTA is lucky. We have two critical partnerships that will allow us to continue operating. Our passengers will not miss a single trip. The first is a rock-solid relationship with the City of Manchester, who has long stood by us when issues with federal funding have caused issues. The city is effectively paying double right now, covering their half and FTA's share. I'm very appreciative to Mayor Craig and the Board of Aldermen, but I recognize that this isn't sustainable indefinitely. The second partnership is our congressional delegation. In an era where folks in Washington, D.C. seem content to bicker and snipe at each other, I can't tell you how thankful I am that we have Senator Shaheen, Senator Hassan, and Congressman Pappas working to find solutions to these very real challenges. I want to thank both senators for joining me here today, and I'm proud that they are leading on behalf of New Hampshire. We could not ask for fiercer advocates. I'd like to first introduce Senator Shaheen.
Well, thank you very much, Mike, and thank you to MTA, to all of the employees who are here with us, and to the commissioners who came out to meet with us to talk about the challenges that you face as we go into this day 36, 37 of the government shutdown. I'm pleased to be here with my colleague, Senator Hassan, and we are working to try and end this shutdown because it is not acceptable that we have not just 800,000 federal employees who are not getting paid, but that we have, as Mike said, so many other programs and folks who are impacted, like MTA. A government shutdown is bad for our economy, it's bad for the American people, and there are no winners. This is a case of we need to come together, we need to work together, we need to compromise, and we need to get this government back open. MTA, as we heard, provides essential services to 450,000 riders in the greater Manchester area. It works with Derry and Salem on their transportation programs. And this is a shutdown that jeopardizes MTA's ability to continue to serve the people in the greater Manchester area. People who, as we were reminded earlier in our meeting, people who are often dependent on this bus service to get to work, to get to the grocery store, who don't have the luxury in many cases of having any other way to get around. And so the shutdown is affecting so many people who are least able to deal with the impact. This agency relies on federal funding from the Federal Transit Agency to operate, to make investments in its fleet, like this beautiful new bus behind us, who, as we saw, is equipped with a bike rack in front. But unfortunately, people and entities like the MTA are being held hostage to this government shutdown. Many in our federal workforce are on the verge of missing a second paycheck. Where we stand is that the Senate unanimously passed a bipartisan agreement before the holidays to keep the government open. Before it could be considered, the House of Representatives changed their vote based on the president's saying he would not support the bipartisan bill. And we go back to the Senate tomorrow to vote on 2 bills. I'm hopeful that that will be the start of negotiating an agreement that will reopen the government, because that is what is in the best interest of this country. Right now, the shutdown is not only harming hundreds of thousands of people, but it's costing the American economy over $1 billion a week. So again, I appreciate everyone's taking time to be here, for supporting the efforts that we will continue to undertake to get this government back open, to get federal employees paid, and to make sure that the MTA and other organizations that depend on federal funding are getting the dollars that they've been promised. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Well, thank you, Mike, for hosting our conversation earlier. It is great to be here with my colleague, Senator Shaheen. To all of the employees at the Manchester Transit Authority, thank you for what you do, and for the commissioners who turned out and helped us understand the full impact of the shutdown on your operations now and into the future. I thank you so much for being here. I just want to echo what Senator Shaheen has said. All across the country, we are seeing the real impacts of this government shutdown. It's a senseless shutdown. It is obviously impacting the federal employees who aren't getting paid right now, but it also has a ripple effect across operations in states, in towns, in cities, and throughout our economy. It's not just that hardworking people are going without pay, but of course that is a huge concern. It is also the fact that the very services that so many Granite Staters, whether they're individuals or small business people, rely on government for, are shuttered right now. And so we have people all across the state who are waiting, whether it's farmers, whether it's small business people, whether it is an individual who relies on food stamps, or a child who is going to need a free or reduced lunch at school. This shutdown has major, major impacts. And we know that as it drags on, it just will get worse. And that's what we've heard today from the members of the Manchester Transit Authority. We've heard about the burdens that this shutdown is already placing on them and placing on the city of Manchester. And over time, the impact of that will get worse and worse. We have an opportunity tomorrow. There will be 2 votes in the Senate. One is a vote simply to reopen government for a short period of time while we continue negotiating on the policy issue that brought this shutdown about. And that is certainly what I plan to support. There is absolutely no reason that the government should be shut down over a policy difference, particularly when there has been bipartisan agreement on how to move forward on that policy. So I will continue working with Senator Shaheen to find our way forward and end this senseless shutdown, really for the sake of our people and our economy. We need to end political gamesmanship here and focus on returning the government to full operation so we can do the work that we need to do as Americans and Granite Staters to move our country forward. Thank you. I think we're open to any questions.
Right. Or not.
Or not.
Thank you all very much for being here. And We will continue working with you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, let us know if there's anything as we're starting this.